Unsure about the traditional publishing do's and don'ts? Listen to today's show to find out more.
Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, Dr. Vivian E. Moore. Hope everybody had a great week and I hope you are having a better weekend. All right, so I don't want to keep you for too long, so we're going to get straight to today's show. The title is Whatcha Looking For? And the topic is traditional publishing do's and don'ts. All right, so if you're like me, you probably tried going the traditional route, right? Well, you finished your manuscript, edited, and did everything to ensure acceptance into the publishing world, right? Well, even after all that prep work, somehow you still fell short with the application to submit your work to publishers actively seeking authors, okay? These are publishers where you don't even need an agent to get your work through the door, all right? But it's a little bit more complicated than that, and so we're going to address some of those issues today, all right? So, one thing for certain, if you're like me, you never realized that there was so much to the initial process. And not only that, the requirements to even see if your book was a good fit for the publishing company, any publishing company, traditional publishing company. And already that has gotten off to a not so good start. All right. So I'm not here to be the bearer of bad news, but what I want to do is enlighten you a little bit on traditional publishing, why it seems so hard for some people to get their work out there through traditional publishers. And so we're gonna address some of those issues today, hopefully. All right. So what you need, and it's something that I didn't have at the time when I was trying to go the traditional route, was a do and don't checklist of guidelines for entrance into the coveted traditional publishing world. At least it seems coveted. Okay. It seems like some people can make it in and others can't. You know, you have some authors who have been at the game for a very long time, but they also, when they started, had a very hard time entering into that publishing world. So if you are part of that, of the fortunate ones that's able to get in, especially if you don't have any type of celebrity attached to your name, you're just a regular Joe Blow who has written an awesome book and you want to share it with the world. You know, sometimes the road ahead is an uphill battle, and but the goal is not to give up. It is to, seek other avenues. If you can't make it up that road, try another one. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But like, again, that's why so many authors are going the independent publishing route, because it's simpler. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. It is so much simpler. You can do your book. They have add-ins that allow you to produce the book as it will look once it is presented to the readers. You can do that straight from your computer and just upload it straight to Amazon, KDP, or whoever your provider, your publisher will be for your book. But you are the publisher. You're just doing the independent route, but you're using Amazon and Google. You're using those platforms to get your work out there. And let's not forget about Smashwords. Smashwords is on the come up, okay? So don't forget about them. Maybe they don't have all the technology as Amazon KDP does, but at one time Amazon KDP wasn't all that either. But Smashwords is on the come up. It's growing. So don't sleep on Smashwords. All right. So anyway, even if you go the independent route, that doesn't mean that your manuscript doesn't still have to be in tip-top shape, okay? There are no shortcuts or anything else. It must still meet all the publishing guidelines, all of the industry standards if you want to be taken seriously. All right, so that means it has to be properly edited. Everything has to be A1. All right. I'm just going to give that to you straight, with no chaser, because, you think just because you're not going the traditional publishing route and you don't have to meet all those guidelines, that traditional publishing, it seems like they're making you jump through hoops. But what it is that they're going to, if they choose to publish your work, they're taking a risk on if this book will actually sell. Okay. So that's why they make sure that everything is in tip top shape, because they want to get the best bang for their buck. And, and that's important, that's with any, you can think of them as an employer, because, basically it's sort of the same thing. If you have submitted your application to an employer, you have to meet their industry standards. You have to bring something to the table that is going to benefit them. Okay. And not only just benefit you. Yes, you're going to get a paycheck from it if you get the job, but they also want to know that the person that they're hiring to do the work, to do the job, is the best fit for that position. So the same thing applies to your books. Okay. They want to know, will this book sell in the mainstream? Will it, will readers find it interesting? So, they're gambling on your work. You may think it's the best thing since apple pie, but, traditional publishers want to make sure that they're going to make some money, because they want to profit off your work. And that's just it, plain and simple. But independent publishing, if you want to profit off your work, you have to make sure that, that it meets those industry standards in order to do that. All right. So, but, again, the process is much more straightforward, if not more accessible in the independent publishing lane. All right. So, but still, if you are a die-hard fan of traditional publishing, well, here's the sought after do and don't list. All right. So, Kindlepreneur. And I'm going to give you that URL. It is https://kindlepreneur.com/get published. The link is, you can just go out there and look up Kindlepreneur, and it'll take you straight to their website. But anyway, they have a how to get published in 2023 list. And they state that you should follow these specific guidelines if you want to get published traditionally. All right. So anyway, in this article, you will learn 6 things, okay, about traditional publishing. All right. So the first thing is things to know about traditional publishing. So they give you the deets, okay. Everything that you need to know about traditional publishing. And then how to determine your genre. All right. So they will tell you what's the best, what is the best genre to actually get you the most book sales. And then number 3 is whether you need a literary agent or not. Okay. So, all these are things that you need to consider if you're going to go the traditional route. And number 4 is how to write query letters. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, like I said, that is the first thing from the start. You have to know how to write a query letter. You may know how to write a book, but query letters are a little bit more tricky. Okay. So, and there is a list of how to write query letters out there if you, if you want to pursue traditional publishing. All right. So number 5 is what to expect in terms of rejections. Yes, folks. That's the dirty lowdown of traditional publishing. You do run the risk of being rejected. All right. Even after you put in all that hard work and you know that everything's in tip top shape, but still you're rejected. All right. So if you get a rejection letter or a rejection email, that's something that that you should feel good about, because most of the time, if you get rejected, you just never hear from that publisher ever again. All right. So consider yourself fortunate if you actually get a rejection letter email. All right. So that means that they did look at your work and they did assess it. They did critique it. And perhaps, you just weren't a good fit for their publishing brand. So that's something to think about. All right. So, and then the do's and don'ts of getting your book published. All right. So that was number 6. And again, that is from kindlepreneur.com. So you can go to their website and look at it and read it, because it goes in more into more depth And it gives all the details, all the structure, the complete layout of the do's and don'ts. All right. I just gave you the highlights. All right. So, but like I said, this list is only the tip of the iceberg. So I do suggest that you go to the link to discover more. All right. So the next one is the Author Learning Center Guide to Traditional Publishing, Do's and Don'ts of Query Letters, highlights. And that's what we talked about in the prelims of traditional publishing. You must have a query letter, all right, along with everything else. It's like a complete, resume of who you are, what you do, what you've done, who you're associated with, who you're affiliated with, all of that. All right. So anyway, if you want to check out more on the Author Learning Center Guide to Traditional Publishing, I have also included their link. And it is https://www.authorlearningscenter.com/publishing/traditional-publishing/28882/do's and don'ts of query letters article. All right. So you can go to that link as well, or just look up the Author Learning Center Guide, and it'll take you straight to their website as well. All right. So, what I've given you is a list of honorable mentions, and it's just a short list because I didn't want to, bombard any new authors who might be considering traditional publishing. I do not want to dissuade you before you get the opportunity to find out for yourself. All right, because everyone's experience is not the same, won't be the same. So you must go out there and experience it for yourself. All right. So my goal is to fulfill your dreams, no matter your plans. All right. That's the goal for me, for you, for anyone who's going out there, who wants to be a published author. But what you need to do is to seek to achieve that goal. And if you do or don't, that is strictly up to you, the author. All right. So again, my intention is not to dissuade, but to prepare you for what lies ahead. Specifically traditional publishing. The choice is yours to pursue, but a measure of prepared awareness is always helpful. All right. Take it from me. I'm telling you from experience. Anyway, I'm cheering on all the authors, especially those brave enough to, withstand the trials and tribulations of traditional publishing. And but what you need to do is to watch out for traditional publishers. Independent publishers independent publishing is a profitable market, and it is a brand that is on trend. So don't let anybody tell you that independent publishing is like the low rent area of publishing, because it's not. All right. We are giving traditional publishers a run for their money. You better believe it, because now we're cutting them out. All right. We're cutting them out. There is no middleman. You're doing the work. You're doing all of the hard work. You're doing the publishing, you're doing the promotion, you're doing all of these things. So, why not get all the money? All right. You don't have to pay someone else to do this for you, unless that's what you want to do, unless you don't want the headache. And I'm not saying that independent publishing is a headache, because I don't see it as that. I see it as a better way of becoming or fulfilling your dreams of becoming a published author. All right. Especially if you want to be considered as a serious published author, and not just someone, who for some reason, they just want to fulfill a fantasy. Not really going about it seriously. It's for them, it's more or less a vanity project. They just want to see their name, across the cover of a book, and, what's inside really doesn't even matter. They're not even saying anything, but, just because they want to see what their name looks like on the cover of a book. So, if that's what you're about, then all right, do you. Okay. And we're going to do us, because we're out here trying to make it in this publishing game, in this publishing world. And, and that's serious business. We're all about trying to trying to earn our place, in the publishing world. And so we have to come at it hard. We have to stay relevant, because we want to not only become authors, but we want to gain readers. We want to introduce them to authors who they've never heard before, because they didn't go the traditional route, and maybe they didn't have their name splashed across billboards, TV screens, magazines, any of that. But they did all the hard work, and they published independently because they wanted to see their work not shelved somewhere or thrown in a slush pile. They wanted to actually see the fruit of their labors. And so that's why traditional publishing exists and why it is expanding more and more each day and each year. So, that's why podcasts are so profitable and so prevalent, because people actually do want to, they want to listen to what other people have to say. Maybe they don't want to turn on the television and watch news. They got to watch 30 minutes of news or an hour of news. Just maybe they can get a glimpse of something good. So, if you have something to offer the reading world, the publishing world, by all means, pursue your dreams, whether it be traditional or independent. The choice is yours to make. All right, so that is the show for today. I hope that you found something useful, always. And I hope that you not only listen to today's show, but share it with others. So, so they can discover this information as well. And as always, always tell the ones who you care about the most how you feel about them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.